instrumental tonight. Get the mood positive and flowing. All right, welcome back to another Steebee live stream. See, I'm being consistent. Haven't missed one in a while. Chilling with Duke. I have some announcements. We got a fun one tonight, folks. Okay, because we're going back to the reptilian agenda stuff. Okay. I have a few updates. So the Steffi Part 3, Steffi Beck Part 3 out now. Check it out. I have good news. Last night, guess who came through? Frankie came through. I thought Cholo Fit was going to come through. I thought Creeper, aka Cholo Fit, would come. But Frankie came through. I'll tell you this much. Coriano Loco was taken by surprise. Okay? Because he thought Creeper was going to come. But definitely tune in for that next week. I want to... Okay, because tonight we're going to... Okay, because we did Peggy Kane. We're going to get to David Icke. But someone requested on a past stream, hey, Steve, you should look into Arizona Wilder. So that's what we're doing tonight. You can see her on the top right of the screen. I wanted to also briefly talk about Three Eye Atlas, because a lot of people aren't talking about this, because I've been kind of doing my own research, and the scariest theory thus far is Three Eye Atlas, which is considered an interstellar comet. It's not really a comet because it doesn't really have a tail, but, you know, we'll get to that at a later time. It's supposedly hosting Draco reptilians. Okay, you can look this stuff up on your own. Some remote viewers, I've been watching some of their content, and they said that CERN has some sort of Stargate that enables them to meet with reptilians, but in their holographic form. Okay, kind of like on the Princess Leia tip. Yeah, on that tip. Okay, and so the Draco reptilians, they have a message for us Earthlings, according to CERN. Okay, these are all just allegedly. They say, we come in peace. We want to gather up all the star seeds on your planet. And that's their mission. So, knock on wood, hopefully we're not one of them star seeds. And you might be asking what a star seed is. I'm guessing that it's obviously a human, but in a past life has alien roots. You know, through their origin, you know. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully that this is all bullshit. But it's still fun to discuss and to think about. Okay. Okay. So there we go. We're all starseeds. So basically, the Draco reptilians want to take us all onto their mothership. So, but I don't want to stay on that topic, because let's go. Let's research more about people who know more about reptilians. And we could actually compare notes as far as what Peggy Kane was saying. Okay, let's not forget about Vinny and Ralph, the reptilians, and compared to what Arizona Wilder is going to tell us tonight. Okay, so yeah, I got the fair use up here. I got it all queued up. Hopefully it's going to run smoothly. You know what? Ironically, look who's interviewing her. Our main homeboy, David Icke. Interesting, right? Hell yeah, let's put those scissors up. Come on, let's freaking do a couple. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, Ivan. Okay, Helicat. Yeah, go. Scissors. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to Tempe, Arizona. I used to walk up and down Mill Avenue all the time, partner. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be a bit long. It's over a 2 hour interview, but hey, we're all hanging out tonight, and I'm also going to be live streaming on Sunday. Shout out to my homegirl Angie and Eric. They're angels. They've helped out a lot, so shout out to them. They're doing a great job. Let's get into some Arizona Wilder.
Start at the beginning, and can you tell us the story of what's happened in your life from the very start?
Okay, what I can tell you is that before I started looking into my life, back in 1989, I was starting to have flashes of things, and my life was not what it seemed to be, which is why I started looking into it. And what I found out was that I had a lot of missing time.
All right, just out the gate, she has a similar look to Peggy Kane, wouldn't you all say? You know, she's gone through some shit, she's gone through some trauma. But what Peggy Kane didn't mention in our past stream, go look that up, she never mentioned missing time. She was mostly talking about EVPs. So let's continue.
And a whole lot of missing time. As to what had occurred in my life, and when I started looking into what had happened in my life, it was the only way that at the time that I knew, was to start going to see a therapist within a year.
And that's something I think Peggy Kane never did. I don't think Peggy Kane saw a therapist. So kudos to Arizona Wilder for doing that. Shout out to Stupid Stuff for Stupid People. I got a good story about aliens. My grandfather was a naval intelligence officer. He told me crazy shit on his I'm guessing deathbed. Good looking out. Yeah, I've heard stories about the Navy, you know, knowing some shit. Especially, you know what? We'll do some Antarctica shit. How about that for the future? I heard there's some crazy stories in Antarctica as well. Good looking out. Thank you, Stupid Stuff for Stupid People. Thanks for being here. We're chilling tonight. This is over 2 hours. Thanks for being here. Let's continue.
I was talking about memory.
Maddie Fresh coming in hot again. I once smoked a strong indica strain and lost 2 days, so I can relate. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I don't want to ruin the Frankie Kionis interview last night, but he mentioned that he was on B Real's smoke box, and he told me that B Real's weed is from outer space. It got him extremely paranoid. What's up, No Name? I knew you'd be here. Let's go. So thank you, Maddie Fresh. Thanks for being here. Let's continue.
Memories of being sexually abused by my father, which was part of what was supposed to happen. And I was talking then, starting to talk about mind control issues, and I was talking about ritual abuse issues at the time, and I didn't have the whole thing put together. It's taken me years, all these years, it's taken approximately almost 10 years to put this together.
Okay, that's another thing. You know, I'm sorry this might frustrate you. I have to pause here and there to make it transformative. But, okay, so she's talking about ritual abuse. I'm going to take some notes down. I don't know why I take notes, but it's just a habit. Peggy Kane never mentioned ritual abuse, so she's on her own tip. She has her own experience with the reptilians.
What has happened to me, and in the process, I have lost everything that I ever had in my life, and anything I held dear in my life. I was bred for the...
Okay, I have to read this. Zachariah coming in hard. Satanic Panic should be your next album name. Amen, brother. Amen. You better believe it, brother.
This role that I fulfill, and it was planned from before my birth, and it was because of my the bloodline of my mother's family, which comes down through Ireland, but before that, it began in France. It was through the Marquis de Stac, which he came to Ireland and changed the name to Stack, and then I was chosen, and the birth was planned. My parents were forced to move down to this area for the reason that the High Council is down here, which is, there are 6 councils of 13 in this country, and the High Council is down here.
We're talking the United States?
The United States, yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm jotting down so many notes. So this is interesting. So she has France and Ireland roots, and we hear this a lot as far as reptilian family bloodlines, right? As far as these hybrids. Can someone, you know what? I'll look it up on my own time. Yeah, because this is not, I don't want you guys to feel like we're in a classroom. But the High Council, I wrote down High Council 13 in this country, okay?
And so from the time that I was a baby, I was being abused and traumatized, and on purpose, for the mind control that they need someone to go through to do whatever they say, to be as just a puppet in
Okay, Stupid Stuff said, go look up French and the Statue of Liberty. French statue. I think I might need some more note cards tonight, folks. French and the Statue of Liberty. Okay, here we go, No Name, here we go.
you know, that they can control every move, and you don't remember. I didn't remember a lot of things, because I have, as a result of all of this mind control, split off many parts that all hold memories, hold feelings, hold programs, hold information, and I've been working very hard to pull all of that up. And
I'm just saying, I'm not even trying to be funny, but imagine being her therapist. Wow. Grab a cup of coffee, because Arizona has some stories for you. Grab 2 cups of coffee, because you're in for it.
It's been a long, slow process for me, because there don't seem to be a lot of people in the field that I only felt was the only way I could go was psychiatric and psychological. They don't seem to know what is really going on, and I believe that a lot of them are afraid of being sued should they suggest something, and so they cannot lead or suggest, and it's been...
Okay, God, you guys, I need to get a whole stack of note cards. Trevor says to go check out Eye on Cinema. God dang. You know what's crazy is I'm like so studious now, but I should have been doing this when I went to Arizona State. I'm doing more of this stuff. I was so high in the classroom there in the at ASU. I mean, one time, like, I didn't even have the right books and stuff, and like for a particular class, I just was lost. But now, hey, we're going back to the studious, huh? Here we go.
A process of me having to trigger myself to remember, and be around people that can help me with that can't really be touched by the False Memory Syndrome Foundation.
So what?
Everyone write that down. False Memory Syndrome Foundation. I don't even know why I'm writing this down, but I am. False Memory Syndrome Foundation. Holy shit.
What happened? You say you were abused as a child as part of this compartmentalizing of your mind. What went on after that, as you got older?
Well, they start with wanting to make you an obedient slave at first, and so they do a lot of sensory deprivation, they do a lot of sensory overload, and they switch between the two, and they do out.
Sensory deprivation. Everyone write that down. Sensory. So she's been through a lot. No wonder why she talks to, she's been through a lot. Sensory deprivation. You know what? There's a movie, I think from the 70s. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's called Altered States. Go look that up.
Out and out torture. They take a small child and they electroshock. In my case, it was electroshock to the brain. And they would take away my chance to sleep. They kept me awake for many hours at night, would not let me sleep. And I was also told things as this was before the age of 5. I was told things such as, they would make me drink water, and they would say,
Okay, I didn't want to acknowledge this, but let's not mention Snickers at all tonight. We're on the reptilian tip. We're on Arizona Wilder. We're taking notes. Let's not no Snicker Brothers tonight. Okay, let's go.
pass here and you're going to have to drink it. And they would make me drink it. And if you have bowel movement, you're going to have to eat the feces, which is also what happened to me. And then they would play, there was a programmer that was programming me
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I was too busy looking at the chat. Did she just say she was forced to eat shit? She's been through a lot. I'm just saying. No name. Let's go.
infamous person in history who actually has been in this country, and he was known as Dr. Green.
Dr. Green.
Who he actually was Dr. Mengele from Joseph Mengele from the concentration camps in Germany, and he.
All right, everyone write that down. Dr. Green and Dr. Mengele. Everyone write that down. We're doing some research. We're in class right now. Dr. Green and Dr. Mengele. Write that down.
Was kept, or he stayed a lot at China Lake Naval Weapons Station out here in Southern California, in the desert area, and I would be around this man a lot.
Someone said, I didn't even want to, I keep looking to the right. Someone said, so she's the original human centipede. Dude, let's keep it studious, man. Don't fucking make me laugh. We're doing this. We're not doing no human centipede sneakers, man. Let's stay on her, man.
And he used to tell me that the scar that he had on the left cheek of his face was actually from, he was into fencing, and that it was from that, but actually the scar on his cheek was from one of his own programming techniques, that he would put a child in a box and tell.
So this is what he looked like. Scar on the left side of the, dude, seriously, dude. People learn through fucking art and shit, dude. That's him.
And with a sword, and tell the child to defend the box, even if it meant his own death. Then he'd tell another child to break into the box, and which this child would do, and then the other child would then jump out of the box and shove the sword or the lance straight through the other child. And at one point he got into it where this child actually got him in the face with the sword. And he would wear a huge emerald ring on his left hand on this middle finger, and he would twist this emerald around and for programming, and he was into using long-colored ribbons of different colors.
Okay, she's saying a whole lot. So emerald ring. Okay, let's. Did she just say emerald ring and then this person used ribbons? she's saying a whole lot, huh?
And you had to choose a certain ribbon, or you were given a certain ribbon, and that meant that this certain thing was going to happen to you. And it was like picking sticks out, or drawing sticks out of a hand, out of someone's hand. I saw games of Russian roulette played where it was chosen beforehand that a child would die, and the child would put the gun up to his head and pull the trigger, and this child would end up dying.
You know what that reminds me of, and this is like we're getting serious now. That movie Deer Hunter, you know that scene with Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken? Dude, go watch that scene. That's what that reminds me of.
But it was meant to scare all of us, keep us in terror, as there were many other children.
We're watching David Icke interview Arizona Wilder, and she's seen some stuff. So yeah, we're just this is an extension from Peggy Kane's stream, and so she has her own experience here. We're trying to learn.
When that were around me.
Yeah, exactly. Meow, meow, meow. That scene was crazy.
That went through the same thing. I have run into people from my childhood that have known me, and I've recognized their names, and even if they change their names and change their hair color, as I have done, they have recognized me, or I have recognized them, and I know.
All right, Shane Winston coming in hot. What happened to the STEEBEE'S merch? We'll get to that. Julian coming in hot. This April O'Neil looking chick talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, sleep deprivation in sewers, and Dr. Green. Yeah, that's why we have to take notes, because she's giving us a lot of information. With the merch, I couldn't keep up with all the orders. I mean, there were certain shirts like that were shipped to Germany, and like I couldn't figure out the zip code, and then people saying, certain customers saying it when I checked the checklist, it would say like the merch was delivered, and then I would have to resend it. It was just a whole lot of headache, but I might get back to it. Yeah, I did it for a while. Maybe I'll get back and make some low rate t-shirts. Who knows?
Know their name. They know my name.
That's not a bad idea, No Name. So maybe for some future t-shirt ideas, I could put, my notes just on the t-shirt. I don't know if that would sell.
There is.
She's not on any drugs. She's traumatized, man. She's been through a lot.
Isn't any way for this to have happened. It's just beyond coincidence. And when you get older, I mean, they start taking, this programmer in particular, Mengele, would take me to rituals. I went to rituals with him all over this country, and in Britain, and in France, and it was known by intelligence agencies in this country that this man was here. They brought him here.
So we need to, because she keeps talking about Dr. Mengele. We got to find out who this person is, because this person, he must be important. Here we go, David.
Is that Project Paperclip you're talking about?
Yeah. Through the OSS. And
Julian coming in hot again. All 5-year-olds ate their feces, right? I mean, who knows? I try to block that out. Project Paperclip, though. Write that down. Good having you, Julian.
My family, or my so-called family, are all DID. They have not, they are very well programmed, and they have not sought help. They have not gone in and tried to figure out what's happened. They believe they've had this certain kind of life that they've had, and as far as they are concerned, I am crazy. And
see what happens You go through some shit, you find out about some shit, and they label you crazy. That's how my brother looked at me when I had the Linda Moulton Howe book. He's like, dude, you're crazy.
They have much different memories of what I have, and I was always told certain things by my parents that my sisters were never told. And biologically, I have to add at this point that my mother is my mother. I am not biologically related to my father. And this has to do with the bloodlines, and his was considered impure.
That's interesting. So she wasn't blood related to her father. So who was the father? You know? Reptilian? Or reptilian infused? Who knows?
And this is all about purity of the bloodline. And that is why I am involved in this. There are people that are involved in this that it is not so much because of bloodline that they have the ability to dissociate and be used as slaves by these people.
You say that you come from a certain bloodline, and there is this obsession with bloodlines that this Brotherhood Illuminati have. Why is that?
Because
Julian coming in hot again. Want me to make you a Steebee shirt design that looks like the Snapple logo? I made one for Adam Savage from Mythbusters. Yeah, if you want, Julian. That's up to you, man. That'd be tight. Good having you here. What's up, Dust Tapes?
what first started coming out was about the Aryans, and the purity of the blood. And what it's all about is that the blood and the menstrual blood contains something that is important for the propagation of this race that is controlling things on this planet. And
that's interesting, because Peggy Kane never mentioned menstrual blood. She talked about how the reptilians like human blood, but that's a very specific thing she just said. Everyone write that down.
And there these people that are in the organization that the Council of 13 is under, and they have something called the Grand Druid Council or the Octagon, they're called the Illuminati. And
Okay, so Council of 13. Okay, she's repeating certain things. I wrote down High Council. Is that the same thing? 13? Oh, yeah. Okay, it's the same thing.
And the Illuminati are actually run by these 13 bloodlines, which are all of the royal families in Europe and
the Rothschilds
in
yep.
England.
Mm-hmm.
And they need the blood because they are, in fact, not human. They take human shape. They are reptilians. And
she's dropping mad science, folks. Do you hear that? These families, the 13, according to her, are reptilian, man. That's why they love this menstrual blood. Shout out to Stupid Stuff for Stupid People with the super chat. If Steebo shirt drops, it's going to be like a old school 80s heavy metal shirt for him slaying a lizard person. Amen, brother. Thank you for being here. Hell yeah, Stupid Stuff for Stupid People. Hell yeah.
they need the blood. The blood helps them maintain their reptilian shape, and it helps them maintain their sanity, and it helps them to live in this world.
You know what? You know what? Check this movie out. I think it's free. I think it's on Tubi. 30 Days a Night. Dude, that movie kicks ass, but it makes me think of them. They need that blood, man. It sustains them.
Because they are not from this world.
Does that relate to what the Nazis call vril power and what the Hindus call the serpent power in the blood?
Yes, the blood has something. It has something in it. It has secretions from the pituitary gland and from the pineal gland, and it has a very strong drug in it that
Adrenochrome? Is that what she's referring to? I'm just guessing.
they also, I mean, this is the one that keeps them from going crazy, and it's like heroin or like endorphins, and it's much stronger. But what they need is, for it to be secreted in the blood, is they need terrorization of their victims.
Now that's a similarity. So did you hear that, folks? So similar to what Peggy Kane said, they don't want normal blood. They need the person to be terrified or frightened. But that's the first time I heard of someone talking about like how it's like heroin to the reptilians. That's interesting.
Before they are killed for their blood, or if a young woman is beginning to menstruate, they need the menstrual blood, and they have to terrorize them to get this to come out in the blood and be secreted in the blood.
Is this the...
So, dude, come on, leave the women alone. So not only do they want menstrual blood, they want the woman to be terrified? Man.
what other people have told me about, that at the point of great terror, like...
You know what? Shout out to Mad Max Payne. Yeah, there's certain hidden messages in Monsters, Inc. Yep, for sure.
the point of sacrifice, there's an adrenaline that enters the bloodstream. Is this what they're looking for?
Yes, that and this other element comes and secretes out through the blood. This all comes out through the blood at that time, and it's at that point they are actually staring into the eyes of the head of at some of these rituals, or at a reptilian. They are staring into the eyes of this person. And
okay, someone corrected me. Bruno said no, Stevie. The other guy said they need the victim to be afraid as well. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Okay.
And they're held, it's a hypnotic gaze these reptilians have, and it holds the victim in an absolute trance, in a trance of terror.
So, dude, that's interesting. That's the first time I heard about that. That's like on some Medusa shit. So, if you ever encounter a reptilian, don't be scared and don't look the reptilian in the eyes. Okay? Write that down. Don't be scared. No eye contact.
And then they are killed at that moment as they are staring into their eyes. And not only do they can't hold their shape when this happens. The
human shape.
The human shape they cannot hold. They go back into reptilian shape as this is happening, because it's like an animalistic type of excitement of the kill, and they oftentimes they will just rip into the victim and eviscerate them and start eating the flesh of this person too.
Now, another similarity, right? What does that remind you of? Go look in your notes. Peggy Kane talked about that specifically, right? The meat lockers, how they transport human flesh through whatever black holes or wormholes to Mars, right? So that's similar to what Peggy Kane was saying.
And the fat from the...
Shout out to Ian Brown. Hey, Steve, just want to let you know I love your content. I hope to see more. Much love from a Scissor Brother. Shout out, Ian. Thanks for being here. Break out the notebook, man. We're all learning together.
The intestinal area is highly valued, as they use it on their skin.
Now, I didn't like hearing about that. Peggy Kane never mentioned how the reptilians, they like the intestines because it's skincare for them. Holy shit.
And they will drink, and they drink the blood, and the blood is highly sought after, and it goes according also to rank within these creatures.
That's another interesting thing. Who knew there is a hierarchy? There's a ranking system. What's up, William Davis? Can we watch Reptilian Days video next? You know what's crazy? Hold up. Before I lose my train of thought. There's a system. So there's like a leader and there's soldiers and there's different rankings amongst the reptilians. I heard the ones with the, I guess like with some of the white colorization. I think those are the badass ones. This is crazy. That's very interesting.
As to who gets what when. And their sacrifices have increased in the last, it started increasing in the early 80s.
You know what I want to find out? We should look this up, because if these things are real, how the hell do we defend ourselves? They must have an Achilles heel, right? There must be a weak spot, right? They can't be indestructible, right? We got to find this out, because according to 3i Atlas, these Dracos are heading towards us, man.
The amount that they were doing is increased, and they use.
Shout out to Crystal. Hey, Steve, did you hear the sad news about Ace Frehley from Kiss? He passed today. Oh, rest in peace. That's so freak. I just sent you that funny interview of him. Oh, God. Rest in peace. No, I didn't know that.
A lot of druidic holidays to do this, but they have other days too. They've mixed all of these satanic and what are called satanic holidays and druidic holidays, and in order to have these rituals, which ritual seems to be important to them.
Dude, I'm guessing if we ran into a reptilian, you gotta go straight towards the throat. You gotta pierce the throat. I mean, I don't know how you would go about doing that, since they're like huge, they're like muscular as well. I don't know, man. It's a frightening thought.
But they also use it in order to drink this blood. They seem to need more.
Have you any idea why it's increased since the 80s?
So there are changes going on in the earth. It seems they're not able to hold their shape like they once were able to, and people see them shapeshift more and more, and they need...
You know what, John Johnson, that's fair. John says, I really think at minimum she was delusional and believed everything she said. At maximum, she really actually went through these things, or some blend of delusion and things she actually experienced. Maybe, yeah.
Blood to try and maintain it.
But the thing is, what I'm thinking is how did she come up with this shit? Like, it's too, she's way too detailed about the stuff she's saying.
To try and maintain their human form. I believe there's a time coming that because of what I've been told, when they are not going to bother having to hold that human shape as they had to before. And they want that time to come. It's almost upon us.
So when you're talking about...
Oh, okay, so you're saying Arizona Wilder passed in 1999? Okay, write that down, 1999. That's a weird date too, right? I mean, Prince sang about, we got to party till it's 1999. There's something to that year, right?
The fact that the veil is lifting on these reptilians so that people can see them far more easily and far more often.
We'll do Bill Cooper on a future stream, okay? It was 50-50 because I was looking him up today, but I'm like, yeah, someone mentioned this Arizona Wilder. I got to do that one too.
Does this relate in any way to the fact that there is this desire to bring in this rigid structure, including microchipping and many other things, across the year 2000, which has become known as the New World Order? Is that coming in because it is known that the people are going to see what the game is, and there has to be control of the people at that time?
Yes, it's very connected. I started talking about the New World Order back in 1990, and I was very psychologically and physically affected so much by what was coming out. I wasn't watching television. I was not aware that certain individuals in this country, George Bush, were talking about the New World Order. I was talking about it because that is what was coming out, and knowing that the first time that inside of myself that I'd heard it was in conjunction with the Nazis, and that came from Mengele.
There you go again. She keeps dropping Dr. Mengele's name. This person must be very important. You know, I want to believe her. Someone look that up.
And I started realizing that there was something going on, and then it scared me.
Well, you know what? You're scaring all of us right now, but we're listening to you, Arizona, okay? We're giving you a chance.
And I didn't really look into it for years, but I was being harassed constantly.
Okay, so his name's Joseph Mengele? I don't know. She keeps saying Dr. Mengele.
I was being told at one point. I had someone telling me that I was being, and who was ex-Army intelligence, ex-CIA, telling me that...
I don't know what we're looking up. We're just looking up all kinds of different things, man. You know what I was looking up too? The reptilian tunnels in Los Angeles. I saw something pop up on my algorithm, and I'm like, I gotta see. Yeah, I hold up. Let me show you right here. Yeah, this is what I was looking up before we started the stream. I'm like, I gotta show my stream this. We'll get to that in a future one.
I was being monitored by the National Security Agency, and I didn't have the whole story then, so I did not totally understand why this was happening. But yet I was being followed by cars or vans that said G12, G14, and in this last year, which has really been very hard, I've been followed by G41 vans, and I had to find out.
You know, I don't even know why I'm writing all these down, because that might be going back to a little bit paranoid and delusional. I wrote down G12, G14, and G41. Don't ask me why I wrote it down, but I did.
Out what those were, and that is naval intelligence. But this whole thing is going towards around the year 2000.
Yeah, no name. I looked up reptilian tunnels, because guess what? There was a man that actually... We'll get that. We'll do that next stream, maybe. There's a man that was actually, like, he had this device to, like, locate life forms underground, and he had a... He was approved for licensing to excavate below. And dude, like look at this, dude. These are real tunnel systems that this is the stuff that he drew out. And there's a whole... I wanted to show the thing that I saw, but maybe on Sunday, because
and when they are
there's
going
a lot
to
of stuff we need to review
openly as a new world order, and it's headed toward that, and that's what everything is being prepared to or prepared for. And I have actually got I've got a sleeping program right now to return, because I've left, but to return for that time, and it's called End Times Programming or Janus Programming.
You know why? I know we're laughing about the tunnels in LA, but dude, like that story I told y'all when I was in Subway sandwiches and I saw that incident where the dude almost broke the plexiglass, and then the other dude's like, you know why he's acting like that? Because the reptilian energy. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was trying to eat my sandwich, and he's like, I saw the entrance at the Jimmy Kimmel building, like the entrance that I mean, there's several, right? But he mentioned that, and it scared the shit out of me. And then I don't know now. I mean, this was I think it was like in the 1930s where this dude was doing this excavation stuff in downtown LA, and it spread to Hollywood. Yeah.
And Janus relates back to Nimrod of Babylon.
Yeah, there is a group that used to be in contact with me all the time. and they stopped trying simply because I didn't obey them. They would be in contact with me all the time. They're called Janus, which is also the two-headed Roman god of change. And their headquarters is in Brussels, Belgium, in the NATO building.
Everyone write that down. Brussels, Belgium, in the NATO building. Why am I writing this down? I don't know. I just feel compelled to.
And they are a group.
Yeah, dude, the Ninja Turtles are real, according to certain people. The thing is, according to this dude, in the 30s, 1930s, he said there's a whole city down there with just all reptilians.
Of psychiatrists and doctors who are into mind control. And they are one of the many groups involved with the Illuminati. And they would contact me and tell me...
Julian coming in hot again. Is she talking about the P. Diddy tunnel they found? Dude, stop. Come on, man. Let's go back to the studies.
Give me directions that I was to psychically kill this person or psychically injure this person or scare this person. They'd give me the location. And I started questioning this, and I had a contact who since has seemed to have disappeared because she couldn't get the funding, and I had called her about this group, and she's the one that was the ex-CIA, ex-Army intelligence person, and she knew about these people, and she said, yes, you're right, this is what is going on.
In your experience, being brought up in this Illuminati environment, were you ever told anything about where these reptilians came from, and what is the history of it all?
I was made to learn through Mothers of Darkness, which is a certain aspect of the organization, because that was an early part of my training, the history of what was the Illuminati on this planet. And what I learned was that the Aryans originally were from Mars, and the reptilians came to that planet to
Okay, she's now I feel like I'm wasting your guys' time. Because she said the Aryans are from Mars. I feel so bad if this is not true. So I'm going to write that down. Aryans are from Mars? What's going on at Mars? So I'm sorry. Is she just like pulling our leg now? What's going on?
They came from another place. They came to that planet. They came to rule because they wanted to mix, so they said, with that race, and but they became the overlords, and the Martians or Aryans were seeking to escape from it. They went to the moon, and then were there attacked, and they then went to Earth and established culture here on Earth, approximately.
The MT says, this is totally true, brother. I hope not. I pray to God, I hope not. Because, dude, I've been taking way too many notes. This is crazy.
6,000 years ago. And at that point in time, they were doing well, and they were mixing with the indigenous population of this earth. They were getting along with. And then about 4,000 years ago, the reptilians arrived here and again began to take over. And they instilled themselves in different places underground in the earth, and also this one part of them, the ruling.
Did you hear what she just said? She said underground. All right, so I didn't say it. But look what I'm saying. Look what I was looking up. Reptilian tunnels in Los Angeles, underground.
Part took over and became involved in the
If this is true, we're all fucked, man.
politics and in the religion, and started controlling through these means at that point in time, and using the gods and deities that
I don't think she looks like David Bowie, dude.
were believed in on this planet, started infiltrating into that and becoming that.
Oh, man.
And things started, blood rituals started happening. And since that time, that is the way that it has been.
You know, that's so crazy, Crystal, because I was thinking, like, what if she's in a mental facility right now and, like, David Icke had to, like, get a pass to, like, interview her, you know?
And presently, they claim to come from a Merovingian bloodline. They are all of there are 13 bloodlines in Europe that all of what are called royalty are.
Okay, so everyone write that down, because she's mentioned that more than once. The High Council, 13 families, all right? So that's important, okay?
Developed from or come from.
You know what it reminds me of, too? Like, I don't know why I thought of this, but, like, you know, Silence of the Lambs? That room Hannibal Lecter's in? What if she's in one of those rooms?
And they include the Aryans in this, and there's been a big push in this century. For example, when Nazis came into power, the fascists,
Here we go.
talking about the purity of being pure and staying, the Aryan bloodline staying pure.
Exactly. It's like when Sarah Connor tried telling them about the Terminators. Yeah, and they didn't believe her.
And what it actually is all about is keeping the blue-eyed, blonde or light red-haired people, the bloodlines pure, because it is more powerful. And what is in that blood for these reptilians is more powerful, and they need that. And when you start mixing it with people that were indigenous to this earth, then it is not as powerful.
So she's saying that the Nazis and the Aryans, this is linked to extraterrestrials, like, to keep the bloodline pure? Like, she's starting to scare me a little bit.
It has nothing to do with someone, skin color or nationality. It has to do with keeping the bloodline pure for their use.
So blonde-haired, blue-eyed people are...
Corey said, so far, I learned she looks like she could make a mean tater tot casserole.
are the purest from the reptilians' point of view. And that they want to keep that bloodline pure because of how they need to use it.
Yes. When I realized that it had to do with blonde hair and blue eyes, I could not do anything about my eyes, and I am not able to wear contacts or I would have brown eyes. But one thing I did do was cut my hair off, because that was part of the rank I was. My hair was down to my knees, and I colored my hair darker.
Dude, this is crazy. If what she's saying is true, so she's saying that World War II, Germany, the Nazis, the blonde hair, blue eyes, it's all linked to like an extraterrestrial influence, like to keep the bloodlines pure. What is she talking about?
And there were times when after I did cut it off, they had gotten to me, and so the hair would be light red. But that is being in compliance with them. And I did not want to be in compliance to them. I want to expose them, and this is part of it. And I won't be what they want me to be.
When you look at some of the ancient accounts, like the Sumerian texts and many other accounts, they talk about the gods interbreeding with humanity. Is this relevant to the reptilian?
Julian coming in hot again. Stop eating feces and the reptilians will leave. Julian.
Way of infiltrating the human race?
Hey, Corey, she's scaring me too, brother. And I'm the one writing this stuff down.
Yes, it is, because human beings all through the ages have accepted God's interbreeding or being accepted as humans, and that shows in Christianity, it shows in Judaism. It also...
Someone said she's definitely crazier off camera. Dude, don't type that stuff in the chat.
They have used Egyptology or the Egyptian religions a lot, and the present head of the Illuminati compares himself a lot with the Egyptian god Osiris and Horus, which is Osiris reborn, and also with the Arthurian legends of the Round Table, and he has a name, the name that he carries from that is Pindar, which actually means phallus of the dragon.
I'm not even writing any of whatever she just said. I'm not writing. That's too much information. Let's just keep going.
And the other name, Osiris, he has
All right, Osiris. I'll write that down.
He takes the name at this time, the Marquis de Libero, which means liberator of or from the waters. And the story of Osiris is that he was cut into 14 pieces and thrown into the River Nile, and the one piece, Isis found the pieces and put them back together again, and she could not find the 15th piece, which happened to be the phallus, so a gold phallus was made. And this is very important in this group in the Illuminati. This is important, and it's important to think that about the head of the Illuminati, because what comes from a golden phallus would be a superior seed for a race, and this is how this is what they are doing with all of these bloodlines to keep the bloodlines going, are impregnating Aryan people of Aryan blood that hold high stations with them, impregnating them with this seed of Pendar.
Who the fuck is Pendar now? Okay, so far, I mean, in the last, 5 to 10 minutes, I've written down Mothers of Darkness, Aryans from Mars, Osiris, and now I have to write down Pendar? Who the fuck is Pendar? God.
And therefore, it's important to keep this history in mind and the names in mind that he is going by at this time.
So would it be correct to say that the reptilians came to this planet because the Aryan Martians came to this
It's her pen pal. That's funny, man.
planet, and that the Aryan Martians gone somewhere else that
Pendar owes me $10.
rather than there?
They would have pursued them all over the universe, yes.
Can we now go into some specifics about your own experiences? What were you brought up to do? You say that you were identified as a bloodline before you were born. What was the role that you were brought through to play?
The role that I was brought through to play was, as in the Illuminati, was as a goddess. Specifically, the address is Mother Goddess.
Okay, so now she's talked about Mothers of Darkness. Now there's a Mother Goddess. Are we all keeping up here? Because she has a whole lot of information we need to write down.
Starfire. And the starfire goes back to the blood in the menstrual blood. What is contained in that, and the the address, the way that I was addressed was Mother Goddess. There are only 3 Mother Goddesses. There can only be 3 at a time on this planet, and there is a male equivalent of which there can be only 3 of them.
Why mind control someone to conduct?
I'm just letting y'all know, like, this is facts. If my brother saw what's written right now, if he saw all this stuff, you won't see me again. He'd be like, that's it. We're checking you in. If he saw this, he'd be like, dude, that's it. You're done. Yeah, we're going to check you into a facility.
These rituals, like yourself, why don't these reptilians just conduct their own rituals?
They don't seem to have the psychic abilities, and they look for people that have that and people in the bloodline that have that. And I have had that. I've had a tremendous amount of psychic ability, and so I was picked and bred from before.
Julian coming in hot again. She's thirsty, trying to convince you she's a goddess. Who knows?
Birth, and this is also something that other survivors that have been in high positions have known about me and told me.
What's the connection then between you having psychic abilities, those being recognized from the start, and you being brought through to conduct their major rituals?
Well, it's kind of twofold. First of all, they needed the psychic abilities because they control or attempt to control events, because I would have the ability to foretell what was going to happen, and they needed the information to just try to control it to an outcome that was good for them. The second thing is that during the rituals, you had to have psychic ability. You have to be very powerful in that way to call out the old ones that are also reptilian, that come from another dimension. They actually they materialize from out of another dimension and are present at rituals, and they are so powerful, and their presence is there's such an evilness about them, and they want out of this other dimension, and they have to be called out by someone who has that power, and the reptilians don't have this power. That's very important, that they don't have this power to call out these old ones that have to do with them. And
what is it that humans have that the reptilians don't have, that means they don't have the power to connect interdimensionally, and some humans do?
We have the ability to foresee, to be able to become vibrationally higher, and see into those levels, go into those levels. And
so there you go. At least we can learn from that. So our goal, everyone here in this chat, we need to raise our vibration, because I don't want to be in the reptilian dimension, the lower astral dimension. We need to go at least make it 5, 6, 7, 8 up, you know?
In fact, agencies use this, they call it remote viewing, to go, these humans have the ability to go into the past, to go into the future.
And that's, you know what, she's linking it all together, because I said at the beginning of the stream that certain remote viewers said that there's Draco reptilians right now on the 3i Atlas interstellar comet, and CERN is involved, and they have some sort of Stargate that enables them to meet with these reptilians, but these reptilians are in a holographic form.
To go to other places, to astrally leave their body, astrally, and to see things that we've always had this ability, and it's like having the third eye. which they don't have. They don't have this ability.
So we have the third eye, right? Shout out to hieroglyphics. You know, they were way ahead of their time. The third eye.
So these,
Yeah, dude. According to the research I've done, yeah, they're Draco reptilians on 3-eye atlas.
during ritual, these
That
ones are
Pandora
called
call.
out. And they are what Christianity would have called the demons.
That's interesting because in the chat y'all mentioned, yeah, they're talking about demons.
They are called out, and there is a circle that is, it has a hexagon in there, which is a powerful occultic symbol, and then there is a pentagram, and then there in the middle of that there is a triangle, and if you're the one calling them out, then you stand in the triangle so that you're not devoured or taken by these creatures that come out.
It creates an energy field around you which they can't penetrate.
They can't penetrate it, and they cannot get out.
You know, that reminds me of what she's talking about, the pentagram, or there's a movie called Dracula with Gary Oldman, Keanu Reeves, and Winona Ryder. And there's a scene where Anthony Hopkins is trying to protect Winona Ryder, and then there's like this, she has to stand in the circle, like, so the vampires don't get her.
Outside the pentagram, and they want out. They're always demanding to be let out, and so you have to be very powerful to keep them in line and to make them go back.
So the Nephilim and Redhead and angry, and Andrew's one of them.
When it is time for them to go back.
Why do the
Jeez.
reptilians want to manifest these quote demons at the rituals?
It brings power to the rituals. It brings power to them. They are told things by these entities, and they are encouraged to go on with what they're doing, and knowledge is imparted to them.
You know what's crazy too is because we think of like pentagrams and stuff as like, oh, that's demonic, that's satanic, but when it's really like an alien sigil or something.
Through these entities, but it takes a person with the ability to bring them out and make them answer, because they don't want to cooperate. They have to
What's his name, Mr. Mythos? I'll write that down. Mr. Mythos? Okay, I wrote that down.
cooperate when the right person has control over them.
And that's to do with that person's energy and ability to use energy.
Right. Yes.
You talked about the Aryan race coming from Mars. One expression of it seems to be very clearly what we call the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians had
Oh, God,
two
let's
deities,
not go
St.
there.
George, which became a British deity, who defeated the dragon, which seems incredibly symbolic. And also St. Michael, who, according to the legend, banished Satan, or this negative force, into the abyss. Is this symbolism of the abyss anything to do with the fact that these reptilian demons of another dimension are somehow locked in a time-space prison, and they can't get out, and they can only get out when they're brought out in that way?
Yes, they want out of that dimension. They have been thrown into that dimension, and they can't leave that dimension. And that's actually...
Well, how about this? We don't want to be stuck in the dimension they're in either, all right? So whoever's in charge, like, let's separate us from the reptilians. I don't want to be anywhere near them.
What the abyss is about is being in a different dimension. It's like something to do with the fourth dimension. And before I even knew, for example, what I was saying, or I realized what I was saying, I would be saying things to my therapist and other survivors that the fourth dimension was a dimension to stay away from. Not at that time understanding the whole thing.
Okay, so everyone write that down. We don't want to be in the fourth dimension. Stay away from the fourth dimension, which I believe is the lower astral dimension. So write that down.
Why do these rituals take place at certain key times of the year and so often are related to the phases of the moon?
Because the moon has an influence on this planet, and also the sun. These also take place during different things that go on with the sun, but the moon it's kind of a really very cyclical thing with the moon. And it takes place now on full moons, new moons. It has to do with the current religion, or what they're using, the Druid religion that they've taken and used. They still hold on to the Egyptology type of religion. They hold on to the Druidism, though, and they're currently calling themselves Druidic or Druid. And Druidism is tied in with the cycles of the moon, on which it has to do with planting, sowing, and harvesting. And
I'm not writing any of that down. There's too much she's saying. Let's get through this, folks. Huh? Thanks for being here. Like the stream. I'm not writing anything about that.
There are so many days that they can use from this to their own purpose and their own end, that they bring it about. There's a lot of ritualization with Druidism, and they love ritualization.
So take us through one of these rituals that you conducted at the highest level of this global brotherhood. What would happen?
There were people that were bred from birth. They were bred to be ritual sacrifices. I have a problem with what
She's playing too much Elder Scrolls. You're goddamn right, partner. She's playing way too much Elder Scrolls. Yeah, she is.
they is said a lot today, especially by the
You're saying
False
too
Memory
much.
Syndrome Foundation, that how could all of these people disappear, or how could all these babies be born? I worked with a nurse midwife. We did home births, and it's very easy not to register a child when it's
I'll
born.
be right back. I have to go pee.
And then they have
I'm
these
listening.
children
I'll be
that
right
they're
back.
kidnapping and bringing in from other countries, and no one misses them because these are third world countries. And children they have the most energy, the purest energy, they're the highest form of sacrifice. And they will terrorize these children and mind control these children. And in rituals, by the time they're brought into rituals, they may be drugged, or they may not be drugged, or they may be in an altered state because of the mind control. And they are used as actual blood sacrifices during...
All right, I kind of heard. So was she talking about? She was talking about child sacrifices and terrorizing children right? Something like that.
These rituals, because of, again, reptilians needing their blood.
See, I was taking a piss and I still heard it. Yeah, so this is similar to what Peggy Kane was saying too, as far as them wanting that type of blood.
And
I know, dude.
they will take various organs from the sacrifices, depending on what...
And I'm going to test you all right now. So Peggy Kane was saying the reptilians really prefer the bone marrow because of human memories. That's what they like to ingest.
date the ritual may, what the ritual may be associated with on that date, but they will also slit the throat from the left ear to the right ear, and the blood will be gathered in a goblet, and it will be dispersed among the reptilians.
So that image right there of just them drinking blood out of a goblet, dude, that'll make at least a comic book, right? That imagery, that's crazy. We should like pitch this to some of these ideas to Jordan Peele. I'm telling you, man, I have some ideas as far as some movie ideas.
And dispersed among, also after that, among people that have been participating in these rituals and seem to have it, even though they seem to be dissociated, mostly these people are.
All right, peace out, Vale.
Seem
Good
to
having
be
you here.
cognizant of what they are doing.
Are these rituals rare? I mean, how many are there that, say, go on a year? I mean, we talking hundreds or thousands?
There are things happening every month of the year. There is not a month in this 12-month system that something is not happening. And it's more than one. I mean, it's every full moon.
Crystal, I don't even want to begin to imagine what her dreams are like when she lived on this earth. Yeah, I mean, if this is her reality and the stuff she goes through when she's awake, holy shit.
It's, and then the very important rituals are the summer solstice and the winter solstice, and then there is the vernal equinox and the fall equinox. And there is Samhain.
There you go, Javier Angel. Jordan Peele's newest film, Her, starring this lady.
There is Beltane. There is Imbolc in February. There is Lughnasadh, which is in the beginning of August. There's a whole week leading up to Beltane and also leading up to Samhain that's called Grand Climax.
So May the 1st is Beltane.
May the 1st is Beltane.
Halloween, particularly in America, has become like a mini Christmas, almost like a holiday.
Pay attention, because this is just around the corner, folks. If you're not taking notes, take notes now, because they're about to talk about Halloween.
Of celebration with a trick and treat and all this other stuff. But what actually happens outside the public arena that night of Halloween and into November the 1st?
Away from the public arena, there's a ritual that's taking place in 6 different locations in this country for all of the councils of 13 in the area that I'm in. It is the East Side Christian Church on 7th and Temple Street in Long Beach.
Write that down. That's a real thing, huh?
And
in
it
Long
is
Beach.
The High Council of 13. And in this country on that night.
Why did I even write that down? Do you think that this event is still going on? I just wrote down Council of 13 during Halloween. It's going to be somewhere in Long Beach. I know, Duke.
It is a satanic ritual. It's actually, there are 3 nights in a row at that church. The first night is Halloween.
What happens on the night of Halloween?
That night is about the worship and homage to Satan. And that is what a lot of people in this country know the devil to be. This is about the devil, Satan. And Christianity talks constantly. I mean, I believe they created Christianity to be what it is. And so they also have created this.
You know what? No name. I'll stop taking notes for now because I'm taking way too many notes. You're right. We're gonna see this out together. All right. Let's see. Just be careful during Halloween. Be careful. Be wary of the Council of 13.
Satan.
I put the pen down.
And so they control in that way. And on that night, there's a lot of bloodshed, and there are sacrifices made to Satan. There is a person who plays the part of this in this high council that has to do with this high council. He's not on the high council, but he has to do with playing the part of Satan. He is a televangelist on TBN. He used to be, he filled in for a little while as the lead singer.
Shout out to Locke. Where you been, dude? What's up to Locke? Steve, sorry I missed so many streams. Happy to be back. Hope you've been good. Yeah, we're chilling, man. We're back to the reptilian footage.
On Iron Butterfly many years ago, and he has long blonde hair.
What's his name?
At this point, I don't recall his name, and it just, I recognize his face. I saw it recently on TBN, and then this is his cover, or he is DID, and he plays this part, the great deceiver Satan, on that night, on Halloween, at this church.
So I don't know what y'all are doing for Halloween, but you won't catch me in Long Beach looking for the Council of 13. I'm staying inside, all right?
And that is what happens on Halloween. And I mean, what else I must say, what is going on with Halloween in this country? It's just becoming so popular. It is also to desensitize people to the whole thing.
You know what? There's not much on it. The kids just want candy, all right? Arizona Wilder, they just want candy. That's it. They're not thinking about the Council of 13. They just want their candy.
And even this backlash Christian movement that wants to call it the Harvest Festival, it does not realize that the Harvest Festival has to do with Druidic religion. And again, they are still doing the same thing and celebrating the Harvest Festival. That's what the Harvest Festival is about.
Are many of the so-called Christian rituals, because that's what they are, or festivals or ceremonies, are they actually, to most Christians, unknowing representations of these satanic rituals?
Yes, they are. One...
You know what? I haven't thought about that, but maybe we'll do a Halloween stream. Who knows?
For example, Christmas has to do with it's a time.
How dare you?
It comes right after the winter solstice, which is a satanic or a druidic celebration. It has to do, there's a day in there called that day, which is not a day. It has to do with the killing of the old king and the birth of the new king, which is a druidic day. On the 24th or the 25th at midnight, there is a ceremony that's specifically for children, and it's called the last bulb on the tree.
Where does that come from?
That is something that's used with children. It's part of programming them into the whole thing. And there were things that would happen to the child that hung the last bulb on the tree.
You know what's fun to do on Halloween, though? I don't know. I can only speak about California, but not Scary Farm. That was a fun time.
On Christmas Eve, as it was a common practice to decorate the tree on Christmas Eve, and the tree in itself is a phallic symbol. And it's...
So she's breaking down Halloween. Now she's breaking down Christmas, saying that the Christmas tree is a phallic symbol. No name, I'm not writing that down. I'm just noting that in my mind.
It's paganistic. Christmas is based on pagan day. And back to Roman times, and Christians have given it, they think they have given it Christian meaning, and it means something else, and it does not. But there is the case that with the last bulb on the tree that has something to do with what happened to this little girl, John Benet.
John Benet Ramsey?
Yes, John Benet Ramsey. And this occurred on this night because of the day it has to do with. it comes right after the winter solstice, which is a satanic or a druidic celebration.
She really loves the word druidic, doesn't she? She said it like 100 times.
Has to do, there's a day in there called
I'm not
that
writing
day,
it down.
which is not a day. It has to do with the
No, I'm not
killing
writing
of
that
the
one
old
down.
king and the birth of the new king, which is a druidic day. On the 24th or the 25th at midnight, there is a ceremony that's specifically for children, and it's called the last bulb on the tree.
Where does that come from?
That is something that's used with children. It's part of programming them into the whole thing. And there were things that would happen to the child that hung the last bulb on the tree on Christmas Eve, as it was a common practice to decorate the tree on Christmas Eve, and the tree in itself is a phallic symbol. And
That's the second time she said that. The Christmas tree being a phallic symbol.
it's paganistic. Christmas is based on pagan day, and back to Roman times, and Christians have given it.
Yeah, Mr. Bubbles, she said that twice now, as far as the Christmas tree being a phallic symbol.
They think they have given it a Christian meaning, and it means something else, and it does not. But there is the case with the last bulb on the tree that has something to do with what happened to this little girl, John Bonet.
John Benet Ramsey.
Yes, John.
They keep saying John Benet Ramsey. All right. We got to research that. Benet Ramsey.
Bonet Ramsey. And this occurred on this night because of the day it has to do with, and the ceremony that it has to do with. And there were rituals done on that night to these little children.
All right, I'll write down the last bulb on the tree. That's the last thing I'm writing down. The last bulb on the tree. Okay, that's the last thing.
So that is totally tied into it.
I have heard that Jean Bonnet's name is relevant to the rituals. Do you know anything about that?
John Day. John Day is a satanic deity or Satan. John Day is a name for Satan. And that name...
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these notes, but no one could see these notes. These notes are too crazy.
Name is just closely tied in, and it's so close, and I don't understand why it hasn't come out, and that I know of, it hasn't been talked about. But that is why she was killed on the day that she was killed, and
Oh no, we're all
family,
we're all joking here. We're all just trying to take her
as far as I'm
seriously.
concerned, her family is involved in this, and that there's always a price to be involved in it. She was the price. This little girl lost her life.
Can we talk about some of the...
I mean, just that look right there. How terrified would you be if you're interviewing her and she looked at you like that? You'd be like, all right, let's take a break, Arizona Wilder. You want some iced tea? What do you want? I'll go to the snack machine. We'll do part 2. Let's take a break.
famous names that people around the world would know who, in your experience, have taken part in these rituals that you've conducted. You say you've conducted them in Europe and the United States. Can we start with the United States?
Yes, I have seen at rituals, I have seen George Bush, I have seen Madeleine Albright, I have seen Henry Kissinger.
I know, I thought about that too. I'm like, yeah, imagine if you were married to Arizona. It's like, the only conversation I would have is like, honey, what do you want for dinner? And then I would just make her dinner, and then I would just go back to the Xbox. Okay, I'm going to be playing some Warzone. Okay.
I have seen Ronald Reagan, and I have also, by the way, seen his wife, Nancy Reagan. I have seen Hillary Clinton before I knew she was Hillary Clinton at the time. At these rituals, she is involved.
You know, the one thing I have heard Ronald Reagan knowing about aliens. He knew about the different classes of alien races, yeah.
The other people that I have named and are, as I have seen shapeshift into reptilians.
Oh, here we go.
I have not seen Hillary Clinton actually shapeshift, but she is involved. I have seen the two sons when they were young, the two sons of George Bush present at these rituals.
Are these the sons that have become governors?
Yes, one is in Florida and one is in Texas. I have seen, did I mention J. Rockefeller? And he shapeshifts. I've seen George Deukmejian and Ronald Reagan again, having been governor.
You know what would be crazy? For my very last stream, I shapeshifted into a reptilian. I go, okay, see you guys later. I was one the whole time. See you.
In California, there have been people such as Newt Gingrich. I saw, and I didn't know at the time that he was Newt Gingrich. I recognized that he was Newt Gingrich when Clinton came into power, and after he was, Newt Gingrich was then elected Speaker of the House. And I was...
Well, you wouldn't be surprised if I shapeshifted into a reptilian for my last stream. Like, okay, guys, I just want to do my own research. And then, poof, and then I just disappeared.
Horrified to realize that this man was also there. All of this has affected me to the point I don't vote. All of these people seem to all be connected.
Yeah, we're not surprised that you don't vote, okay? It's not surprising to us.
To the Illuminati. And I don't feel like being part of having anything to do with them.
Presidents like Carter and Ford and Clinton.
I've seen Ford there.
Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford, yes.
Are they all reptilian bloodlines?
Dude, thanks for mentioning that. Dude, that's one of the best series ever. Is someone mentioned V? I don't know if you're referring to the miniseries like in the 80s or whatever, but dude, that affected me. That introduced me to this whole these concepts. Like, what? There's like a reptilian race?
I haven't seen Carter shapeshift.
You've seen him at rituals, have you?
Yes. Gerald Ford, I have seen shapeshift.
What?
And Johnson, also.
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson.
Jimmy Carter, Lyndon Johnson. They're all shapeshifters? Oh my goodness. We're getting there, folks. We're almost there.
Also,
you know what's crazy about V is like, because they looked human, and then remember those scenes where they peeled off the skin and you could see the reptilian form underneath the human skin? That traumatized me as a kid. I'm like, whoa.
Dr. Joseph Mengele, who took me around to
Here we go, Mengele. Joseph, Dr. Mengele. Huh, dude?
These rituals, a lot of the time, was also shapeshift.
Now, Duncan Trussell, that's a dream guest for me. I would love Duncan to podcast with him.
And there were also people that there are people in the European countries that I've seen shapeshift and be involved. And this, it doesn't surprise me any more than it does the people in this country doing it. Is just for some reason more shocking, and it cuts even deeper. Because I've seen the Queen Mother there, and I have seen the Queen there. I've seen Princess Margaret there. I've seen Charles there, and they shapeshift. And I have seen this. I'm not coming up with his name right now, but he was president in France after de Gaulle. He was there. I've seen.
You know what, dude? I heard that too. What's that guy's name from Smash? Billy. What's his name? Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, I heard that on Howard Stern. Like he said, he didn't say Tila Tequila's name, but he said Tila Tequila shapeshifted twice on him. Right?
Him there. I've seen the Rothschilds there. I used to see the Rothschild that lived in England there, but the one that still goes there and is a shapeshifter, Guy de Rothschild, Baron Guy de Rothschild, has been to all of these rituals and has been over in this country under the name of Dr. Barrington and tried to program me and has impregnated me several times with eggs that were taken from me years ago and were impregnated with semen from Pindar.
Okay, we were following her up until this point. So Pindar impregnated you? I'm so sorry about this stream. This is I mean, I was taking notes the whole time. So here we go with Pindar again.
And then placed back into my uterus. This has happened to me twice. I was age 39, and this year, right before I turned 43. And I had told my therapist ahead of time before I ever could have.
Imagine being her therapist and listening to her tell you the Pindar story. Yeah, Pindar impregnated me and swapped out the eggs. It's like, okay, let's take a break, Arizona.
Known that this had been done to me. And it's happened at a certain place in where I have.
That's my next project. Just Pindar. That's it. I won't even say a name. Just the album is Pindar. Just the name.
Been living in the San Fernando Valley. It's happened at a house on Tyrone Street in Sherman Oaks, and my understanding is that there have been other survivors that have talked about this location as having been involved with programming and so on.
That needs to be a future guest on the podcast. Is we need to find out Pindar. Okay, that'd be a great one.
And he has Baron Guy de Rothschild has tried to program me.
Mondo. Yeah, I'm trying to locate him. Look up Dr. Pindar. Yeah, we need him immediately.
All these years, he has been trying to control me, get me back under control. And the Marquis de Libero is someone else that attends all of these functions and since he is the one in power, he attends all these functions. I have seen Tony Blair there, and he shapeshifts. I have seen Prince Philip there.
What I want to know, how many motherfuckers have you seen actually shapeshift? There's too many, and you're alive doing an interview with David Icke. Like, this is, I don't know. I'm not saying she's bullshitting us, but that she's seen a lot of shapeshifts, man.
They all have their quirks as to how they act, even in their reptilian form. And they all, I mean, they act. They don't act all like robots, but they have their quirks. They have their so-called personalities, but they are all cold-blooded. They would kill at the drop of a hat. I have even, since I've seen a picture of some people that are talking about this subject, I've seen them, when I've seen their pictures, I recognize them. I did a double take a few weeks ago when I saw again someone who's been talking about around this subject, and it seems to...
I'm not believing this, but it is entertaining. But imagine going with her to a party. That's the party to be at. That's the vlog I need. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, yeah, let's go. It's up in the hills. Yeah. Let's roll. Arizona. Yeah. I got my memory card in. Yeah, let's go.
To be popular right now.
Who's that?
This man by the last name of Sitchin. I've seen at rituals, and he is a shapeshifter.
Zachariah?
And I did a double take when I saw the picture of him, because I recognize him. And there's,
you know what? Her parties. No, let me backtrack. I wouldn't want to go, because it'd be like a eyes wide shut type party. Best believe that.
another person that I've seen. This Gardner, Sir Gardner.
That Lawrence Gardner.
Sir Lawrence Gardner. And he had recently written an article that was out in Nexus magazine. Part of it was about the menstrual blood, and what really triggered me was when he called it starfire, because that is one of...
So everyone write that down. If you haven't been taking notes, another word for menstrual blood is starfire. Write that shit down.
Is the name of one of the aspects of the three women who are the dress.
Dude, I have to read this comment. Helicat coming in hot. Imagine she has a doll at home that's dressed and looks just like her. That's a terrifying thought, my friend. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's when you're like, oh, yeah, I have an appointment. I gotta go.
Mother Goddess, that is my name in all of this. So this man I have seen, he has lots of power within this sect of reptilians, and he's someone that you would want to watch out for. Outside of this too, as is this Sitchin person.
What do you remember about Zachariah Sitchin?
That's what I thought. I'm like, the only Sitchin I know is Zachariah Sitchin. So I thought that he, revealed all this stuff. I didn't know he was actual shape-shifting reptilian. This is confusing me now.
Zachariah Sitchin was someone in the rituals attending the rituals who was not a major player in as far as the rituals went, but was someone that others present did not make remarks at, or were very careful as to what they said around him.
Why is she rolling with the elites, huh? Begs the question. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Why is she rolling with them, right? Like, we can't go to these parties, right? We wouldn't be invited, right?
And he was
Oh, you know what? Because she part of her bloodline, right? She's a part of this somehow, but she got out of it.
talking about, he would be talking about doing away with people, persons that were in his way or were putting out information that he didn't feel that he wanted put out.
You know what? I can't stop thinking about the reptilians drinking blood out of a goblet. I'm gonna be sleeping tonight thinking about the goblet.
He is very much a disinformer, and that is his job, to disinform about what is going on with the Illuminati and with the reptilians.
He actually warned me off from investigating the reptilians, interestingly.
You know, someone mentioned the Beastie Boys because I love the Beastie Boys, but dude, rest in peace, MCA. But what if the Beastie Boys were still together and MCA was alive and they did a album called Reptilians? Dude, that would be sick.
Where do the rituals take place that you've been involved in, involving the British royal family?
Glamis Castle, Stonehenge, Balmoral Castle. I have reason to believe there was.
I was about to write Balmoral Castle and I stopped myself. I'm like, what do you do? Like, thank you, no name. Look, the pen is on the desk. I'm not writing that down.
There's a church, and I think it may be Westminster Abbey. And there is a Mothers of Darkness castle or chateau in Brussels, Belgium.
Okay, so write that down. The Mothers of Darkness castle is in Brussels, Belgium. All right, that's something to know.
They've been there too. And also in France, the Marquis de Libero Pindar has a castle in the Alsace-Lorraine region of France. And
Pindar has a castle in France. Write that down. So the Mothers of Darkness organization has some kind of castle in Brussels, Belgium, right?
I believe it's in the Alsace region that he uses. And there are certain rituals done at that castle down in the dungeon part of that castle, and there's an entrance.
You know, that would be tight. You know how Alex Jones snuck into the Bohemian Grove? Like, imagine sneaking into one of these places. You would get some good footage.
Down there to underground places in the earth. And
again, underground places on the earth. This is my theory about the reptilian tunnels here in LA as well.
There is a natural formation of rocks that kind of glow green, and they keep menstrual blood in that.
You know what's scary though? Like this, we'll see the thing that I saw the other night about the underground reptilian tunnels. In that documentary, they mentioned that the lighting system is similar to what she's describing, because it's like obviously they need light down there, so that's how they get them from these. Similar to like in Skyrim, like these sigil stones that glow. Something to think about.
Formation, and this green glowing from these rocks actually turns the blood a darker color, and it's called black blood, and it's used in certain rituals.
Take it easy there with that language.
But there are also they keep small. There are smaller, less developed little reptilians that are kept down there. They're kind of pets. But one other thing that's also down there, there are eggs it's like a nest of eggs kept down in that part where it's warm. It's very warm down there into this entrance. And these eggs are kept down there incubating.
Okay, now she's really starting to scare me. Okay, that's crazy. There's little pet reptilians.
And they are the reptiles' eggs. And
That's how you get the upper hand on these reptilians. We go there, we sneak down there, and you get one of those reptilian eggs, and then you use it as leverage. Like, dude, back up, dude. I got one of your eggs. You know.
and that's where they keep them.
What are you...
And look at that look. She's dead serious about that. The way she described them having these reptilian eggs down there.
memories of conducting the rituals for the royal family? What happened? What were they?
Oh no, those eggs are like diamonds. No, I was kidding around. There's no way we would be able to get to those reptilian eggs. There's no way. That would be like, there would be a security.
Doing?
One thing that sticks out.
You know, it's after she finishes a sentence and she looks at David Icke, that's what scares me. I'm like, whoa, she's kind of scaring me now.
In my mind, is that there was before. This was back in the late 70s.
Imagine if, like, once they kick me out of here, my next vlog is like, hey, Steebee here. I'm in Brussels, Belgium at the Mothers of Darkness Castle. We got a great vlog for you.
This was before Charles was married to Diana. He was involved with Kamala Parker Bowles, and she does not shapeshift, but she became pregnant by Charles, and she produced a baby, and this baby was presented at the ritual and killed, and that is the price, the firstborn between these two, and eventually these two will marry, and that is the price that is to be paid, the sacrifice of the firstborn between the union of these two people. And I've seen that there. Something else that sticks out in my mind is that it was around the late 80s.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah, I'm there with you, Raya. It's, yeah, the reptilian egg theory is kind of like messing with my head.
That I saw a very kind of dark man he was Arabic. It seemed to be Arabic or Egyptian, and I heard the name Fayed being mentioned, and the Queen Mother was there, and I called her the Black Queen.
Easy there.
And she and he were talking very seriously and at some length about a subject. They were mentioning Diana, and they were mentioning his son, Dodi. And at the time, I didn't know who Dodi was. I knew who Diana was. I never saw her at any rituals.
Where did this conversation...
I was this close to writing down the name Dodi. No more. That's it. No name. No more. That's it. I'm not writing anymore.
take place?
This took place at Balmoral Castle. And I heard them talking about a marriage between these two, and I thought at the time, well, she's married to Charles. Can there be a marriage? She's married to Charles. I didn't understand
I
why.
mean, did you see the fear in David Icke's eyes just now? He kind of like he was like, "Whoa, she's really going there."
The Queen Mother and uh, this person that I now know to be Dodi Fayed's, because I heard Fayed.
You know what? That's the last thing I'm writing down. Dodi Fayed. Dodi Fayed. That's it. That's it. I'm done taking notes.
Mohammed Al Fayed talking, and I'd seen them together at, I saw them at Balmoral Castle. I overheard the conversation at Balmoral, but I'd seen them also at Mothers of Darkness Chateau in Brussels, and they were talking about
But that would be a dope name for like a heavy metal band. Mothers of Darkness. Hell yeah.
a union between Diana and his son Dodi back in the late 80s, and I did not understand at that time because
You know, we've all I've heard about Princess Diana and the royal family being linked to reptilian. Yeah, reptilians through their royal bloodlines or whatever. Yeah.
I understood Diana to be married to Charles. I knew that she was married to Charles and they had 2 children, and they were about to have another. And the Queen Mother, all I could pick up was that for some reason that there was a malevolence.
You know, she's the type of woman. Let's say you're married to her. She's the type of woman like you'd check up on her. You think she's sewing, and then she'd be talking to the wall. You'd be like, "Who you talking to, honey?" "Oh, nothing." And you're like, "Holy shit! I gotta get out of here."
Towards Diana. And Diana I had never seen at a ritual. I wondered what she knew about all of this.
What have you seen the royal family do, the Queen Mother, and the other people you've seen in the rituals? What have you seen them do?
I've seen all of them drink human blood and consume human flesh, and they have their own goblets in which...
Wait, no, are you kidding me? No name. Dodi Fayed's dad used to own the Fulham Football Club. Please don't say things. Are you serious? Oh God.
They have blood, and these goblets are encrusted with jewels.
So okay, that's more about the goblets. Let's write this down. The goblets are encrusted with jewels.
And they also have their own daggers, and that the dagger goes into the goblet, and they stir the blood around with it, and it's also a what it is. It's a symbol of the phallus going into the vagina.
I might have to end the stream because that was... I had a lot of patience up until that point. Alright, so on top of the goblet, they don't use a spoon. Guess what? They use a dagger to mix the blood.
When they're doing this, and I've seen them do this, and some of them have even, like the Queen Mother I saw with, she had her own little, it would, like almost, it's between a very elaborate ornate chair or a throne kind of thing brought in for her to sit. And because before these rituals actually start, there is a kind of people move around the room and talk, or recognize one another. It's a formal kind of a ritualistic setup, the way they talk and the way they introduce each other. It's like a court.
What are they wearing?
They're wearing robes. They're not wearing anything underneath the robes. And the robes are...
Of course they're in robes. Yeah, that's exactly how we all pictured it. Yeah.
very ornate. They all have... The one thing in common they have is they have a red color, like blood. And
Eyes Wide Shut. Let's all watch that movie tonight. Eyes Wide Shut. Red robes, right?
and some of them have purple. And they have gold kinds of lines running through them. They have the Merovingian symbol of France, the fleur-de-lis.
All right, write that down, No Name. Merovingian. I'm not even going to attempt to try to spell it. Write that down, man.
There are jewels that are sewn in at certain points on these robes. And they wear these robes, but they don't wear anything underneath the robes, because what is going to happen, what the rituals are all about, they're going to shapeshift, and they can't have anything on under the robes.
You know, dude, that is some Hugh Hefner shit, right? Because this motherfucker, he wasn't wearing anything under the robes either.
And there are orgy kind of things that go on at the rituals also. And
involving the royal family of Britain.
Yes, involving the royal family of Britain, and the sacrifice and the eating of, consuming the sacrifice.
You know what? That's a good one too. Everyone watch The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp. Good one. Yes. No one talks about that.
And they are involved in that.
And you've seen them do that?
Yes, I have seen them do that.
People in Britain...
it's just like like I said, every time she finishes a sentence, look at that look. It's like, do you believe me? It's like, I don't know. You're scaring me.
Listening to what you're saying would obviously be staggered, I guess, anywhere in the world. But what would stagger them mostly is in Britain, the Queen Mother has an image of being the nation's grandmother. The nice old lady, and good old Queen Mum, what a lovely lady. What's your experience of the Queen Mother?
She is very cold in reality, and she is very cruel, and she is very different than she comes across to the public. She's cold-blooded. If she feels that you are someone beneath her, even in the Illuminati, that you're at her equal or your station is above her, she will not speak to you, she will not recognize you. She obviously, from what I see, enjoys...
So she's just like Ellen, right? Because you heard about Ellen, right? You can't look Ellen in the eyes because she was above people. Yeah, look that up. Ellen was a weird one, too.
Consuming human flesh. It's sickening.
There you go. So finally, we're bringing it all the way back to Peggy Kane. Consuming human flesh.
The one person that she seems to be afraid of is Pindar.
People would also...
She has the same freaking look every time. Like, you believe me? You believe me, right? Look at that look.
Look at the Queen.
I'm not trying to be mean, but if you were married to Arizona Wilder, this is how you could escape. You just say, hey, honey, I'm going to go to the store to get some milk. And then you're out.
Queen Mother's elderly, frail stature. And find it very difficult to see her taking part in rituals and doing anything, if you like, active. Do they go into a different state in terms of age and strength and all these other attributes when they actually shapeshift?
Yes, the human body that they that they choose to occupy or take when it was young, it ages, but when they take the reptilian form, these reptilians live hundreds of years. And so they have to have taken more than one human body to live in. A lot of them are much, much older, and I'm including the Queen Mother in this, older than...
No, this is not Linda Moulton Howe. This is Arizona Wilder. And I apologize. I didn't think it would be this crazy. We'll go back to police videos for the next stream. I'm so sorry. We got to get through it, though.
Then people think that she is. She's been in more than one body, human form. And when the time comes, if it is time for her to go on, and it has been chosen that she still has, I mean, it's
Why is it every time they pan back to David Icke, he looks petrified?
known that she still has life and years to go, again, she will be put into the body, the essence of her, and the reptilian form will go, or the essence of her will go into another body that is also has the ability to shapeshift into reptilian form.
One of the pure reptilian human bloodlines.
Yes.
What?
You know, we're not believing a lot of this stuff, but you know who is believing it? David Icke. He's eating this up. He loves this.
What happens when, take the Queen Mother as an example, what happens when they shapeshift? I mean, what do you see?
Here we go. Listen.
You start to see changes happen, and they're happening so fast that it's almost, it's the closest thing that I've seen to it is what they're now doing with computer technology. It's just a literal transformation that happens very quickly, and they get taller and they get bigger, and they don't look at all as reptilians like they do as humans, and thus the wearing of the robes, because if they were in clothes, the clothes would be torn apart.
So let's take the Queen Mother on this subject as an example. We recognize her as a frail old lady. What does she look like when she shapeshifts at these rituals?
Here we go.
She has, she looks like, the nose portion gets very much longer, and it grows into kind of a snout kind of thing. She has little fangs.
All right, so now I won't be able to sleep tonight because I'm thinking about reptilian goblets, and I'm thinking about the whatever, this lady, like her nose growing into a snout. Great.
And incisors as teeth, and there's a tongue. They all seem to have this kind of tongue when they're at this level. The tongue has a lot of long, hairy or pointed projections coming out of it. It's very long, and
I'm not gonna even attempt to draw whatever she's describing. I want to erase that from my memory. I don't want to think about that.
Have these. They don't have hands or feet. They have these
Okay, dude. I'm so
claws, and they have scales, and also scales that seem to kind of disappear into one another. But it's more pronounced on the
Hey,
back.
you would be scared too if you saw someone shapeshifting like the grandmother shapeshifting into a reptilian. You would be scared. We would all be scared.
There seem to be lumps or protrusions coming from the head. There seem to be some kind of growth, appendages at where, on the back, and they seem folded, and not all of them have that. And there is a tail, and they a lot of times will keep the tail curled, and
That's how you get them. If you see this, you take your machete and go for the tail of the reptilian or the snout.
And I've seen her when she's very displeased with something, as I've seen other members like this. This tail is whipped around, very agitated,
Boom.
and they do, and she hisses.
What color are they?
Which one in particular?
Take the Queen Mother as an example.
She's kind of a beige color on the underside, and by the time you're going up around to the back
You
and,
chop the tail.
and the tail and the top of the head and on top of the nose, snout, whatever, it's coming to a very they're dark speckles of, or large speckles of dark browns, and the eyes.
Now, how would she know the colorization? Like she's getting a little bit too specific. So that's what's scaring me, you know?
Usually, they're large. They look like they're very round, and they look like they're coming out of their sockets, and very protruding. And usually, the color ranges from a beige to a gold to a dark greenish gold, and then there's this dark.
See, that's the thing. How would she know those details? So that's why it's kind of scaring me. But check this out. If you can't get close up to one of these and chop the tail, binoculars, bing, crossbow, dude. Bullseye.
Slit up and down, a vertical slit, and and the eyes will look hooded. And when they look hooded, it's a very frightening thing, because it seems that when the eyes are hooded,
Dude, you know, it'd be scary if after the stream, we all have a dream and guess who's in it? Arizona Wilder. That'd be crazy.
there's about to do something.
What do you mean by hooded?
The lids come down, and it's almost, I guess it would be the same thing in a human as an expression of someone's got an idea.
And how tall are they when they shapeshift?
They're just about 7 feet tall. Some are a little shorter.
7 feet tall. Yeah, dude, you can't get near those things. They would crush us.
Or to a foot shorter. Some are a little bit taller than 7 feet.
I mean, look at his face. He's eating this up. He loves this interview. Look at him. He's like, tell me more. Tell me more.
So what would the Queen and Prince Charles look like in their reptilian form?
As to height,
As to general appearance?
Charles resembles in both ways, in human form and in reptilian. He resembles Pindar. He's shorter though.
Here we go. Hey, dude, this whole stream should just be called Pindar, because she keeps talking about Pindar.
In reptilian form than Pindar. But the way that the reptilian, the nose shapes into the snout at that point, and the jaw becomes the underpart. It's very.
You know what that reminds me of? Here's another movie. American Werewolf in London. When he transforms into the werewolf, go check that scene out. It's kick ass.
Very much like Pindar, and his
Pindar.
mother doesn't look quite the same as he does.
But what does the Queen look like?
The
All
Queen,
right, David. Jesus.
she's darker, not quite so pale. She's darker. All over, she doesn't have the amount of.
Dude, right? That movie kicks ass, dude. Go watch American Werewolf in London. when he morphs into the werewolf. That scared me as a kid. I'm like, oh my god.
I would call it freckling.
Don't talk about freckles, man.
It's more like a gradual, like the skin is gradually getting darker. It's more
So we're almost there,
smooth.
dude.
And she does have the lumps up on around her head and down the tail, the spine. Charles has the tails down around the spine, and funny enough, he has the protrusions from the skull in the reptilian form, where about or above, right above where it seems like his ears would have been.
I mean, see, that's way too much detail. Whatever the way she's describing this reptilian, too much detail.
What is it about the rituals that allow the
Staring
shape-shifting
at
to
him that
happen?
way. Gosh.
When the victims are starting to be sacrificed, it's the scent of the blood, and they start shape-shifting at that point in time. And
So we gotta saran wrap that shit. Don't let them smell the blood, because they start morphing and shapeshifting.
they can hardly wait to get to the blood. It's like they're addicted to the blood, and then the consumption of human flesh that follows.
What have you seen the Queen or any of the royal family do in relation to that? Have you seen them sacrifice and consume human
David Icke is way too invested in this.
flesh?
Way too invested.
There are certain times when they will actually do a
What are we watching for the last 2.5 hours? Oh, let's see here. This is Arizona Wilder. We're gonna go back to police videos next or something else. I don't know. Maybe the reptilian tunnels or something.
sacrifice, or there will have been someone doing a sacrifice and it's not happening fast enough for them. So they will step in and finish it themselves, because the sacrifice the ritual has to be gone through. Sacrificially, I mean ritualistically, it has to have been gone through, and they will step right in and just start tearing the throat out. And
All right, so they're gonna go straight. See, but what did I say earlier on the stream? I said if I were to engage a reptilian, I would go through their throat. But she's saying that the reptilians go through for our throats. That's their move.
they're getting all this blood from the jugular vein at the same time.
Okay, so they have a reason, because all the blood from the jugular vein.
And that has happened when there are many there that are going to be sacrificed, and they just can't wait.
I'm just, if we were in that situation, we would at least ask for some morphine, right? On some Saving Private Ryan shit. Like, yeah, okay, I know what you're about to do. I can't go through this. Please give me something.
Entering into the contents of the abdomen and stomach of a victim afterwards.
Who have you seen do that?
I've seen the Queen Mother do that, and Prince Philip and Charles. I've seen Guy de Rothschild do this. It seems that I've seen it more among royalty, or so-called royalty, do this than people that are not titled. They don't seem to. They seem like it feels like they don't dare, but they shapeshift nonetheless. But it's like the royals that step in and just start tearing away, as they can hardly wait.
How long can they hold?
I mean, she has the same look every time. She's really scaring us, isn't she? Look at that look.
The reptilian form in these occasions?
During the rituals, it's much easier for them to hold their reptilian form. They can stay in that form. what it is that they have a hard time holding their human form. And as long as they're around blood and the scent of blood, they can't hold human form.
Right.
All right, Ryan, what do you got? David Icke, Notepad, Starfire, Alien Eggs, Bone Marrow, Balmoral Castle.
Where do you think the story of Diana fits into all this?
I don't want to be a party pooper, but I just looked at where we're at. We have like an hour. I mean, we might have to do a part 2 of this, unless y'all want to keep going, because this is.
In terms of the ritual that you know about and the royal family background that you know about, what was all that about? What happened in Paris?
Diana was a ritual sacrifice because she's named after goddess Diana. She was chosen from before birth for the purpose of which she served.
Is it just me, or does it look like she's shape-shifting before our eyes? Am I tripping or what? I mean, because this is a longer stream.
I understand very well and am very empathetic towards Diana, because in a way it parallels what happened to me, to have served your purpose, had 2 children, and then be tossed aside. And to her horror, though, she obviously never attending a ritual, she knew something was happening, and she knew what was going on and could not be trusted to be at a ritual anyways. I don't think that Diana would have attended a ritual.
Yeah, because I was like stared away, and I stared real quick back at her, and I saw her left eyeball go like this, and I'm like, whoa.
I don't think that they could get her to cooperate in this because she actually saw for herself that this was going on after she married Charles.
Was there any way when...
Yeah, it's that look, man. Imagine if that was your wife. Hey, what do you want for dinner, honey? And she stares at you like that. Oh, right, okay, roast beef, it is. Pot roast, I meant. Yeah, pot roast, okay. Dinner will be ready soon.
Diana was married to Charles without attending a blood ritual, that she could have seen him or one of the others become a reptile?
They have a tendency when they're asleep to shapeshift, and they have to consciously hold their form, and when they're asleep they have a tendency to not hold human form and to shapeshift into reptilians, and there could be other things that happen. You know, I'm thinking about the times that Diana would have gone through a menstrual period. Well, that would have also really triggered some of these people in the royal family that are reptilian around her to want to shapeshift.
This is crazy. If my brother saw this, I have on this, the back end of this card, I wrote Dodi Fiad, and then I wrote they lose form when they're asleep. This stream has to end soon. I'm losing my mind.
Or any woman, any human woman in that household that would be having a period, that scent of blood would tend to cause a momentary shapeshift.
What was the whole...
God, can you have a different expression? It's so scary when you stare at him.
What appears to be a ceremony surrounding her assassination. What was that about? The rumors that she was pregnant, the Egyptian Dodi Fayed.
That's so crazy. I just showed you Dodi Fayed, and he said it. Oh no, synchronicity.
And the place where it all happened, which is an ancient sacrificial site to the goddess Diana. How does all that fit together in the rituals that you know about?
Okay, The crone asked.
Dude, like the stream. No one's... Dude, this is a unique stream. No one's showing you this. We're getting educated here.
Aspect of the goddess is Hecate, and the day of
I
Hecate.
don't know what that made me laugh. Someone wrote, 805 Waves wrote, Scent of a Woman.
Hecate is on August 13th, and what is very prevalent in this with the Illuminati and what they've done with the Druidism and other
Here we go.
and Egypt, the Egyptian religions, is they like to mirror the numbers, and so as like, for example, with the goddess Isis, her number is 18.
I don't know why I feel compelled to write that. 18 is Isis's number. I don't even know why I wrote that.
When you mirror it, it's 81, and that is the number of the sister of Isis, Nephthys. And Nephthys was considered the evil sister to Isis. With Hecate, what I think happened here is that she was sacrificed, and it was a very important sacrifice because
Hecate, I wrote that down too.
3
Hecate.
people died, and it was a picture of the triad of Isis, Osiris, and Horus.
All right, no name. I'm not going to even attempt to write all that. She's just saying too much information.
Horus being the unborn child of Dodi Fayed that Diana carried and was 3 months old, which is another very important fact, a number that's important to them, to be 3 months old.
3 is the magic number. 3 months. Why am I writing that?
Sacrificial babies are taken in utero at 3, 5, and 7 months.
That's important because that's the number they prefer. 3 months old. That's the number, the age they prefer.
And
for the blood or so. I'm confused now.
when I heard about this was a deal that I understood now had gone down, and she had to die in that tunnel because that tunnel's the passageway for Diana, the goddess, and she died at the 13th pillar again because of Hecate. And
Now we have to find out who the fuck Hecate is. We know who Dodi is now, right? And Pindar, but who the fuck is Hecate?
she died on the 31st.
It does sound like a Tribe Called Quest album. Q-Tip presents their new album, Hecate.
Because it's the mirror image of 13. And my understanding of what I get inside of me, and because I was told by Baron Guy de Rothschild last beginning of February when he was in this country, and he was there to try and reprogram me again and impregnate me, was that he was in the tunnel that night. He had to be there because not only was it a ritual death of Diana, this was also about taking her soul, and he was taking the soul of Diana, which no one else there could do. Whoever was present there could not do it. He could do it, and he was in France.
This is the hypnotic stare you talk about.
Yes, and drawing in the breath, and he had to
Okay, so thank you, Troubleshooter. Hecate is the Greek goddess of magic. Thank you. Thank you.
be there to do this ritual killing, this ritual murder.
This would mean that the ambulance team and a doctor that arrived within a minute of the crash coming the other way must have been in on this whole deal, or at least the people in charge of the ambulance team. From your experience of the kind of people involved in this Illuminati satanic network. Do you think that's possible, that they could set that up?
Yes, I do.
Maybe she has
I've
vertigo.
seen a lot of things set up that if you did not know, if you weren't in on the so-called inner circle, or know what the Illuminati can do, because they depend on people not believing they're really there, you would not, you would have a hard time believing it. That this has been such a secretive group and worked in such insidious ways to infiltrate and control. And there are so many unanswered questions they don't seem to be able to answer about Diana that keep coming up in spite of all the reports that come out, because there are people that don't believe what they're hearing.
What would have been the purpose of creating such a clear and definite ritual in the assassination of Diana? What would be the purpose of that when they could have killed her in another way?
Because it
I don't know. Yeah, her face is doing something. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it
had to be done
out.
as a ritual, because they were going to take her soul. And it had to happen in the tunnel. It had to happen that way. It had to happen in that year. And this is all, there's all a timeline to all of this.
There's been many rumors that she was pregnant, but as I understand it, one of her friends says that that was not possible because she knew that
Can you try smiling once in a while? Arizona? I mean, geez, why so serious?
very shortly before she'd had a menstrual period. Is it possible to be pregnant and for that to still happen?
Yes, it is. This happened to me. I was impregnated with one of my own fertilized egg that was fertilized by the sperm of Pindar.
Yo, we gotta stop this stream, man. I had to. I've taken too much. We all have. Dude, you hear what she just said? She's impregnated with a what'd you say? A urn with Pindar's sperm?
And he sent Guy de Rothschild to impregnate me in this manner. And I was impregnated in
I can't do it
October
anymore.
of 94. I had periods up until February when it was discovered, and they seemed normal. Not
She's saying all this with a fucking straight face, man. She's not fucking around. Pindar impregnated her.
light. And I then,
I'm sorry, it's
Was-
funny, man.
since I had the background of a nurse, and had worked with a nurse midwife delivering babies, I was, for some reason, it occurred to me to check my stomach, my abdomen, and I realized that I was pregnant, and so I ended up seeing a doctor who told me, I mean, he verified, you're pregnant. He did it with blood test, with the urine test, and ultrasound exam, and if I don't do an abortion on you tomorrow, you're going
God bless you, Darren. Yeah. Name that weed strand seed of Pindar. Hell yeah.
to have to go through a different type of abortion, which probably would have been a saline abortion, and I knew what I was pregnant with by that time, and so I was terrified to go through with it, and I could not go through with it.
If everything she's saying is true, I swear to God, I'll get a Pindar tattoo on my chest. Straight up.
Knowing what I knew, and so I had the abortion, but I had periods the whole time.
She's not cracking.
You were impregnated.
See? At least it shows my human side. She's not cracking at all.
Noted at the point that it happened without you having any knowledge of it.
No, I did not.
Is it possible that that happened to Diana if she was, as the evidence that I've looked at suggests, also mind-controlled and a multiple from the early part of her life?
Yo, her left eyeball shape-shifting, y'all. Did you see that?
That is definitely more than a probability. The thing about being multiple or dissociative identity disorder is that the host.
I know, Sean Walsh. We mentioned that earlier. Yeah, Billy's the shapeshifter was a girl. Tila Tequila shapeshifted.
Person doesn't know that they are, but they have missing time. But then they have amnesia for the missing time. They don't realize they're missing time. They don't realize things are happening to them. They show up, pregnant. They show up with marks on their bodies. They don't know, I think I must have bumped myself, and that's not actually how it happened. Or they have needle marks on their body when they've been gotten a hold of and drugged. And it's only when they start to realize something's not right and they try and make a timeline and try and account for their time, they realize there's so much they can't account for that they simply took for granted. Oh, I was out shopping, or I was at this person's house, or I was over there. Then they realize they don't have a timeline for any of these things.
Do you think that Diana's two children were Prince Charles's children?
I do not believe that William is, I've heard that he was...
Pindar owes the most child support in the universe. God bless you. You're goddamn right.
And Charles's son...
You know what I was thinking too? I'm like, dude, if David, he missed his shot, these two were meant for each other. Straight up.
I've heard about someone else, and I believe that it was neither. I believe that this child of Prince William is the son of Pindar. And
the child of Prince William is the son of Pindar. I feel like I'm going crazier and crazier.
And she was impregnated, and she did not realize that.
When you look at the ritual nature of all that, you've got Osiris, it would seem, symbolized by dirty fire. You've got Isis, symbolized by Diana. Presumably the baby quite obviously symbolizes Horus in Egyptian legend and ritual. Why
805 waves. I have no idea what the lizard's overall goal is. I have no idea. We're trying to all learn together.
create that in a tunnel in Paris at that time?
Control, to take over, who knows?
What was it designed to do, to symbolize or whatever?
It's to symbolize, it's part of symbolizing getting ready, getting the world ready to recognize the Horus that is about to come upon us in the year 2000, as the year 2000 is the age of Horus and Osiris reborn. And there's a sacrifice involved. And the sacrifice is the mother, and the sacrifice is this child. And yet it involves another child who yet lives by the same mother. And
You're talking about William?
yes, I am talking about William.
What would have happened to Diana in your experience of the ritual, and what would have happened to the unborn child after the...
You know what's crazy? Alone in Vegas podcast, I just bought Damien Omen 2. It was on sale for $4.99 on Apple. Go check that out. It's a good movie.
events in the tunnel in Paris.
that Diana left the tunnel dead. She didn't leave that tunnel alive. That ritual, she had to die in that tunnel, and they had to take her soul in that tunnel. And
Shout out to Hole in the Sock. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Thanks for being here.
they had to take the soul or developing essence of the unborn child, and in the hospital it follows logically, according to what I know about what they do,
Yeah, Omen's a great movie.
that they
yeah.
would have taken
The original
the
Omen's a great
uterus and the fetus from Diana, that would have been taken, and as a ritual that would have been taken, and they would have removed other body parts,
And done what?
distributed them for high Illuminati members to consume, because this is a ritual sacrifice.
Some strange things happened after that. Strange things happened all the way through it. But suddenly, the decision was made that she would not be buried in the local church where she wanted to be buried, but on an island among the trees in a lake at Althorpe Park. And Earl Spencer, her brother, claims through a dream he was inspired to put 4 black swans on the lake. Therefore, from your, again, knowledge of the ritual, what does all that mean? Why do that?
Because 4 black swans have to do with 4 directions, 4 seasons. They have to do with sealing something for all eternity. To have 4 of something black, like that swan's figure in Celtic mythology, quite a bit in the Druid mythology. And black is the color of Hecate, and one of the also.
So someone in the chat said Hecate is the Greek goddess of magic. So here we're going back to Hecate again.
One of the goddess aspects, the 3 goddess aspects that they have, the name is Black Flame or Black Star, and Black Flame means unto death, and so therefore the color black, and somewhere in there would be a flame.
The decisions after her death to put her on an island among the trees in a lake and the 4 black swans were all, at least on the surface, taken by her brother Earl Spencer. Have you any experience of him?
Earl Spencer, I have seen at rituals. He's definitely tied into it. Her family has been part of this. She has this blood.
Dude, I haven't heard 40 ounce for breakfast in a while. That, yeah, rest in peace, gift to Gab. Big fan. Oh, yeah.
I have not seen him shapeshift, but he's tied into it.
You've seen him at rituals in
Yes, I
which
have.
sacrifices took place?
Yes, I have.
What about her father? Any knowledge of him?
Her father was present at rituals. Her father would have been involved way before Diana was born.
You know what I was thinking too? Because I just opened the door. I wonder what my neighbors think of me. They're probably thinking, what is he listening to?
For her to have been involved and watch her actions after she was married, cutting herself, being anorexic, being bulimic, just these are so indicative of someone who has been involved in mind control, has been hurt, has been forced to follow mind programming. That this would have started when she was a little child, and her father would have been involved.
Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna get evicted before I thought. Sooner than later, huh? My neighbors are gonna be like, yeah, he's playing those reptilian videos again.
So if they got her into this mind control stream from birth, presumably they would have been able to shape events right from that point to the 13th pillar.
Yes. Yeah, they would have, when somebody becomes what we call multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder.
Here we go. Oh man, I apologize. We're almost there.
There are many programs
I think 20, 30
that
more
are
minutes.
induced
Dude,
that
this
can
is
be
gonna.
induced at any
I'm just saying this might be my longest stream because we're going
point.
on.
I mean, you've got the
2
machinery
hours
in
and
place
50
when they're a very
minutes. Yeah.
small child.
We're almost there.
And as they're grown, they can install programs at any point and have different parts hold these programs, and they can be made to do just about anything. They're taught things such as red light.
30 more, dude. I need to eat, dude. We start. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're going.
Is a
we're gonna
green
be
light
past
go
3
through the
hours.
light. They drive faster than they realize they're driving. They are able to memorize or see and just glance at something and right away just pick what the point is that they're going after for some reason. Or
I'm requesting this. I'm not asking for super chats. This is what I want. After this stream, document your dreams tonight. I want to know if this will change it.
They can memorize phone numbers in just a glance.
The car hit the 13th pillar, driven by Henri Paul, who was missing for 3 hours that night, a man who's been connected to both British and French intelligence. Given the obsession with the number 13...
All right, PSYOP music. I remember when the Illuminati came to my circle of friends and family, some were willing to sacrifice me because they thought I was like Jesus. Oh my God. Thanks for being here, PSYOP music.
Seems beyond coincidence that with all those pillars in the tunnel, it hit the 13th. Is it possible to mind control someone like Henri Paul so that at speed they could pick out the 13th tunnel, the 13th pillar?
Yes, yes, it is. He also, it's very, very possible that he was drugged and programmed in the time he was missing. It's possible for him to have taken medication but not have it affect him at all.
Does that include alcohol?
Alcohol also, yeah. And then maybe later or not, it would affect him, depending on if that's what the program was, or it to affect him. But it might not affect someone at all. I've been through this myself, so I know this to be true. And
What happened to you in this instance?
it was a very bad time in my life.
A very bad time in your life. All your stories are a bad time. This is bad.
Time in particular I'm speaking of, where my then husband told me that he wanted a divorce. And
we're not surprised. I'm sorry. I love your information, but we're not surprised.
I took approximately 8, I don't remember what the dosage was, but 8 Xanax pills in front of him.
Okay, so here we go. There's a culprit right there. 8 Xanax pills in front of her ex-husband.
And I drove from where I lived in Orange County to the Norwalk area and went to see my therapist, who was holding some groups in this area. And I did not feel the effects of the pills at all when I drove to see him. I did not feel the effects of the pills at all when I left there an hour and a half
You took 8 Xanax pills and drove your vehicle? Come on now.
later.
Come
Yeah, I
on.
had-
You thought that was a good idea, Arizona?
I had no car accidents. I was not stopped. My driving skills were very good.
Oh my God.
And I've seen
Yeah, dude. She took 8 Xannies and and drove.
this happen with other people that have had the mind control programming and this DID and
I know. Shit. Yeah. That's a good idea. 8 Xanax. I'm gonna go to my therapy session now. Yeah, exactly. No name.
you just swallow up medication and one part holds on to it and it does not affect the body.
So if you're in a compartment that is not connected to taking the pills, you're not affected by it. But if you were put into that compartment that took the pills, if you like, you would be affected by them.
Yes, and you can also have, what they can do with you is have a whole bunch of alters or parts lined up that, okay, you will be out from this point to this point, and then this next part, will be out from this point to this point. They can keep going like that. It can be a very complicated, long thing, but they can line them up that way. That's the way the programming goes.
Do you think this could explain the apparent mystery of a alcohol reading of Henri Paul that was equivalent to 8 Scottish on an empty stomach, while the video evidence of the Ritz Hotel security cameras is that this was not a man in the minutes before he drove Diana into the tunnel that was in any way at that level of drunkenness?
Yes, that can very well.
Ark Pot God says, "Am I crazy for seeing this already before?" You're seeing it for the second time. We're all just trying to get through it the first time.
Explain it.
Oh my God.
With this kind of mind control programming that they do, once you go into that mode that they want you in, you can be hurt and in a lot of pain, or you can be drugged to the gills, or have drunk too much, and you appear to be in no pain at all, appear to be perfectly with it, and you don't feel it. You feel all right.
That explains her expression, the expression on her face, because we know now she pops 8 Xannies and likes to drive her car.
People would find it difficult, just coming from their own experience and observation, that someone could drive a car into a tunnel at considerable speed and pick out among 30 odd the 13th pillar. How is that?
I was thinking the same thing. She looks like she's on some Xanax right now during this whole interview. That makes more sense to us, right?
Possible to program someone to do that?
Because that someone has been taught and programmed and taught and programmed and taught for quite a while how to do this at a very fast speed. The mind works very fast, and if they have the mind and body connected the right way, they can drive. This person would have been able to drive into the 13th pillar at a fast speed.
Would that have been happening on a conscious level, or would the subconscious have been pulling the strings?
This would be on a subconscious level, and the person would not be aware themselves of what they were doing.
In those crucial minutes before Henri Paul got in the car and drove away, would someone have had to have given him the trigger to access and activate the programming then? Or could he have been in some way pre-programmed to be triggered at that time? And if so, what would that be?
Well,
Pindar's 13th pillar. Oh my God, you better believe it.
he was probably programmed to do all of this at a trigger signal. And so what happened is that somebody triggered him with a preset signal that he was told when you are given this signal you will act out, you know, but the program was already set to go off when the trigger, when he saw the trigger.
What form could this trigger have taken?
It could
Someone
have
said, plot twist, David Icke is her dealer. Dude.
been a hand signal. It could have been a certain type of handshake. It could have been a color that he saw that was flashed in front of his face. It could have been a certain person doing a hand signal. It's most likely that there was a person present that he was to react to when this person said something or signaled him in some way.
Given the extent of your
Hey, David Icke, how many freaking questions are you going to ask this lady? We got it, all right? We know too much now. We know about the goblet, Pindar, Dodi, Fayat. We know a lot.
programming from birth, how was it possible for you to break out of it, as you appear to have done now?
One thing that happened is that in 1989, my programmer handler died, who was Mengele. And he was in this country so much, and I was around him so much, and he had a lot of control over me. And what happens when a programmer handler dies, they usually have taught the person that they've been working with, to be very, very loyal unto death to them. And that's something that they, in the end, it works against
This sums up my whole
everything,
stream.
because
3
when
hours.
they die, even someone else coming in and trying to take over, a lot of these altars are not open to that and are loyal to that one person. And in my case, Baron Guy de Rothschild is the one that tried to take over. And for some number of years, there was a lot of the time, half the time they got their way, and half the time they didn't. And in major things, they did not get their way. One of the things...
Yeah, the cameraman, this altered his life permanently. I feel bad for the cameraman.
that I went out and did in 1993 was I cut my hair off, and because I was publicly seen and known to have
We're not surprised. Yeah, you did a Britney Spears. We're not even surprised at that.
very long hair, I could no longer be seen. I could not be seen with my hair cut off short. This would have caused a lot of questions with other people that had been programmed. And
Okay, let's just inhale these nuts. She got 5150 after this interview. She's probably in there right now. Thanks for the super
they
chat,
still
brother. Thanks
tried
for
to
being
carry
here.
on with other parts where I wouldn't have to be publicly seen, because they still consider me to hold this status. And they still consider me their property. I was always told I was their property.
One question that people would ask is, given all that you know, why don't they just take you out?
They still have plans for me, and this was told to me just a few days ago by someone else who has spoken with Baron Guy de Rothschild, that they have plans for me, and they plan to try to have me back because of the psychic abilities, and that is not going to happen.
In the little bit of tape we've got left, could we just turn the subject to the jewelry you've got to your left there?
See, dude, now he's stretching. Dude, you got answers to all your questions. Now you want to ask about her jewelry? Come on, dude. Let her... Dude, How about get some lunch?
What is that? Was that part of the rituals that you were involved in?
The first one, this is a child's ring. It is a 14-karat gold white, or 14-karat white gold ring with a diamond in the middle of a hexagram, or a hexagonal shape, and it looks like a hexagon.
Yeah, you keep that inside your jewel box.
You were able to look closely at the diamond. This was returned to me by my ex-husband, who told me, well, this was in your daughter's clothes. And this was a message to me, and it was a trigger to me for him to do this. Very
Let him cook, Steve.
well. Any high-ranking survivors that I have talked to that know of this ring know that it's from Mothers of Darkness, and this.
Okay, now I feel completely insane. So that ring is from the Mothers of Darkness. Oh, God. I am so sorry.
It
Like
would
the
be
stream. We'll switch it up next time. I'm sorry.
very unusual. I mean, I don't know of anyone else that has a ring like this in their possession at this point in time.
And what's the necklace?
The necklace here is made out of copper, and it's very
And she took that from Credo Mutwa. Absolutely.
Egyptian, and it was given to me when I turned 19, and that's an important age because you really start at the position I was at, having these psychic powers in full effect and being allowed to do this in full effect during rituals, and this was worn during certain rituals.
Why copper, and why have it at all?
Copper is a transmitter. Copper has always been used in the occult.
Write that down, though. That's interesting. Copper has always been used in the occult. Write that down.
It has a specific meaning. The meaning it has is because I had a triad of altars that were very active in a lot of rituals, and the triad was Isis, Osiris, and Horus. And Isis was the part that drew down the moon, and Osiris performed the rituals, and Horus was what was born of.
You know what? I'll look into the channeling videos. If y'all will tune in for that, we'll do that. Yeah.
Performing those rituals.
Just in the literally 3 minutes we got left, or 3 or 4
Oh,
minutes.
please, 3 minutes. Oh, my God, we're almost
I know
free.
it's difficult, but I want people to understand the nature of what's going on to so many people today. What sort of things were done to you as part of your traumatization as a child and later?
I was electroshocked to the extent that my parents were told when I was in first grade that my IQ was 70 and that I was retarded, and they said I would be retarded. I always had trouble in school when I was in school because I missed so much school. My school records are missing. They've just disappeared. I have medical records that are missing. My birth certificate appears to have been tampered with. I have had my eyelids taped open, and so I couldn't shut my eyes. I have been electroshocked. I've been put into a narcoleptic sleep and had earphones placed over my ears and had messages repeated and repeated for days.
Get this lady a pizza. God, she's been through a lot.
I've had drugs injected into my body so that my nerves were just like on fire, and then they would just touch me. Since I wasn't allowed to have marks on my body, they couldn't use a cattle prod on me, but they do use cattle prods on people in torturing them, and they do use electrical stimulation to the genitals and also on the teeth. And they like to inject between the toes and under the fingernails and up in the gums. I've also had some kind of scarring done up through the roof of my mouth all the way up to the brain stem back here that gives me a photographic memory. And I have calcium blocks around the pineal gland that seem to be perfectly spaced and even, and it's very, very curious.
No, she's lived beyond a Stephen King novel. She's been through so much.
The doctors can't seem to come up with a reason for that. I have been programmed to be anorexic, to be bulimic. For the government programming, since I was also used by the government in this country, I was programmed to cut my arms if I started to remember, which I was punished for by the Illuminati.
You said 3 minutes,
as
David.
I was not
You
to
said
have
3
these
minutes
marks
left.
upon myself.
I know. I'm sorry. Thanks for being here
I was
outside.
made to eat my own feces as a little child.
Okay, that's
I was
enough.
made to drink my own urine. I was not allowed to go to the bathroom. I was placed in a sensory deprivation tank. I had my shoulders, my knees, my toes, and my fingers, my elbows.
Well, did you catch this, Raya? She was forced to eat her own poo and drink her own urine.
Dislocated and then put back into place when they wanted me to be traumatized. I've repeatedly had phone calls of tones coming over my phone, and tones that you can't make by pressing telephone buttons, tones that sound like sonar sounds from a submarine, tones that sound like they were made by some type of instrument. And I have had directed energy used on me, ELF, low frequency electric waves used on me.
She deserves a day at the fucking spa. Burke Williams. Because, she deserves it the most.
Microwave energy, and this in turn has created two different, would hear one tone in one ear, one tone in different tone in the other ear. It creates a third tone. They're called tritones. They change the electrical activity of your brain waves and to put you in the state they want you in. I have been programmed to run through red light, thinking it's green. There's been a lot of programming done around my children. They've used my children against me. And it's a very painful subject with me. To know that this is happening to my children.
Oh, God.
The same thing that's happened to me. It's hard, it's easier, I don't know if I can make people understand this. It's easier for me to have, okay, I can handle that I went through this. And what I want most is to expose these people because of what they're doing to children all over. But they're doing it to my children too. And my daughter believes I've abandoned her. My son believes I abandoned him.
This is just getting sad now. Like the stream. We'll switch it up next stream.
Don't have hope when
no poo Sammys.
when their children
Exactly.
they don't have hope when their mother's taken away from them and they're told that their mother just left them. So this is a cycle that goes on
Weapons
with
is on
thousands and
Netflix. Hell yeah.
thousands of survivors, not just myself. And this is how they perpetuate it if there is a parent that's protective that believes and has found out this is happening.
Oh my God, there you have it. We made it through that. Like the stream. I'll be on again on Sunday. I need to get something to eat. Let him out. Love y'all. Thank you. See, Duke's had it. Love y'all. Shout out to Angie for modding. And thanks for being here. And I think this may be the longest stream. We'll see. Love y'all. Oh my God. Okay. Love y'all. Thanks for being here. Peace. Okay.